is Art Stipanovic. I'm a retired chemistry professor from the State University of New York system. Now live on the island of Kaua'i. And the second element, a lot of courses, a lot of labs, demands on your time are going to be huge. And a natural sort of human response to having a million things on your plate at the same time is this concept of procrastination. And I'm sure that's a word that you've heard of, but let me just define how the dictionary defines procrastination. It's the avoidance of doing a task which needs to be accomplished. So you have a task that's critically important, but somehow you avoid doing it. And in fact, it's the practice of doing more pleasurable things in place of less pleasurable ones. So instead of you writing your chemistry lab report, you go out with your friends, you go to a concert, that sort of thing. So this idea of procrastination is putting off impending tasks to a later time. And the unfortunate fact of the matter is when you do that, the task doesn't disappear. It still has to be done, but it has to be done in a different time scale. And unfortunately, in many cases, the time scale in which it has to be done conflicts with other tasks. So you've got two tasks to do in one time slot versus one. So the idea of procrastination, which is avoiding tasks in favor of doing more pleasurable things, is a key element of how you're going to manage your time in college. And in many cases, procrastination sort of perpetuates itself, and then you reach a crisis at the end of the month or at the end of the semester where you've got to do 15 things. And the fact of the matter is you can't do 15 things well. You needed to do each one of those items well in the time that you originally allotted. So procrastination is an important element of time management. But the key element here is that the urge to procrastinate, humans like to procrastinate. So it's sort of built into your DNA to procrastinate. Bottom line is you have to fight that. You have to urge it. You've got to kind of purge it, I should say. And you have to basically have a formal strategy. How do I manage procrastination? And you manage procrastination by having a longer term calendar that says on the 14th of the month, I need to have accomplished this. And then you have to have a daily schedule, daily calendar that says, on Tuesday from 2 to 4 p.m., I'm going to do this assignment or I'm going to do this reading so I don't have to procrastinate my task past that. So some suggestions for declaring war on procrastination is to keep a work progress journal. Like every day, scribble down some notes as to what you wanted to accomplish that day. You wanted to complete your book report for English, and whether or not you succeeded, whether you scheduled your time appropriately or you didn't succeed. So you need to be reminded almost on a daily basis, have I procrastinated today, or no, I got the elements I needed to complete today, I was able to complete. So that's one thing, keep a work progress journal. So that might be best. Again, I guess you can do it you can do it electronically or just a little scribble piece on a piece of paper that this is what I accomplished today. And very important, procrastination seems to be, at least it sort of flourishes if you're tired, if you're hungry, if all these other sort of elements of life sort of gang up on you. You haven't got enough sleep, you pulled an all-nighter the night before, you haven't eaten anything in 36 hours. You need to keep yourself healthy. You need to do some exercise, but you need to so-called feed the beast. You need to basically make sure on a daily basis, you're having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or, breakfast, a snack, lunch, dinner, etc. That's sort of up to you, but you need to keep the beast inside you sort of happy so procrastination gets pushed away. Again, eat healthy snacks to maximize your energy, keep yourself well hydrated, make sure you got enough sleep. Sleep is critically important in this whole process of time management and avoiding procrastination, because there is room, 8 hours a day, you gotta be sleeping. Okay, some other tips provided by some experts is if you have a particularly horrible task, you've got you've got to write basically a summary of a research project you have been working on. So it's a big, horrible task, but you can sort of take that task, or you can sort of transform or bring together a number of tasks into one big, so-called big, horrible task, which you then treat as a basically an element on your calendar or your daily schedule. So, but it's important as a part of meeting deadlines and accomplishing tasks is you need to build a work schedule where you're making steady progress on a task. Generally, you don't want to sit down with a big task. It's going to take you, 36 hours to accomplish. You don't want to sit down and work the next 36 hours on that task. You want to work 4 hours today and 6 hours tomorrow and 2 hours a day after that. So you need to take a big task, break it down into manageable pieces so you're not overwhelmed at the end of the day. So build a work routine to make steady progress on your obligations rather than expending too much of your time at basically in your motivation, expending too much of your motivation sort of at one time. And then it does help to identify, and this is using your long-term calendar, identify saying, okay, this day, the Sunday, the 22nd of March is going to be particularly difficult because I got this big report that's due. So what you need to do is identify in advance. So this is going to be on Sunday. Well, on Thursday, you need to start your mind gearing up to the fact that I'm going to have this horrible day on Sunday. I need to chunk out time. Anything else I would have to do on Sunday, I need to be done before Sunday. So this is the idea. This time management really needs to be a formalized process for you to be successful in college. It can't be just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of deadlines rattling around in your head. It needs to be written down somewhere, or it needs to be on your computer. Again, you can ask Siri to remind you, but the idea is you can't just have stuff rattling around in your head because, number one, you're going to lose track of things. Number two, you're going to procrastinate. Number three, you're just going to forget things, and/or you're going to become frustrated because everything begins to happen on a full rush. So that's about what I have to say about procrastination. And I think a resource for helping you deal with procrastination and a resource of dealing with that will help you deal with time management. There's a very neat book out called How to Become a Straight A Student, written by a guy named Cal Newport. And this is a paperback book. It's only 100 pages. You can read it in a few hours, but it really helps will help you to focus on your time management skills and focus on these issues of procrastination and how to avoid procrastination and that sort of thing. So if you get a chance, you can order this online, How to Become a Straight A Student by Cal Newport. I didn't write the book. I stand to financially gain nothing from all of this, but I highly recommend that particular book because it really puts a lot of these time management things in perspective, and it gives you some examples of how successful straight A students have managed time and have managed to avoid procrastination. So that's it for today.